Hey Gino, I'm down here at Talladega. I'll see you Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever it is. But I was talking to this young man, and he said somehow Kenny's name came up, and he said he was the technical advisor to Six Pack. So I'm with who I thought was Dale Jarrett, and then I thought he was Ned Jarrett, but he's Glenn Jarrett. So I got him on the third try. Tell us what you did with that movie.
Well, I was very fortunate. We had a contact with 20th Century Fox who made that movie, and about 2 weeks before they started shooting, they called me. I had met the guy in November in Atlanta at the last race of the year in 1981. And,
1981.
Yeah, they called me and said, "Can you help us get the cars together?" And I was like, "Wow, how much time do we have?" And he said, "Well, we got about 10 days." Like, holy cow! So anyway, I hustled on over to Rockingham, and the race was there that weekend. And I started talking to a bunch of guys, and I helped get the cars, talk to the people that owned the cars, and got them at the racetrack so they could use them for filming. And I had a Busch Series car, which is now the Nationwide Series, and we even used that. We pushed it around in the garage area. And but once we got to the racetrack, most of the filming that I was in on was at Atlanta, and I was fortunate enough to be able to drive one of the cars in a lot of the action scenes. And anytime they wanted to do something on the track, they would come to me and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. Is this okay?"
Were you driving as Kenny, or were you driving?
No, I just
drove.
I was
stunt double.
I was a filler. Yeah, I was a filler guy. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but one of the funniest things that happened though was on the last day of filming, they had the big crash down in turn 3 and 4, and I never will forget this. There was a Native American Indian guy who was a stunt driver, and David Pearson, David Pearson, obviously one of the most famous drivers in NASCAR history. We were there, and they asked us, "We got to make sure this guy spins out and crashes a lot of smoke." We said, "Well, just
spins out, crashes, and a lot of
just block the front brakes off, go down the corner and stand on the brakes to crawl turn around." Well, that wasn't enough. They said no. So they had this poor guy drive it just head on into the wall going into 3 at about 170 miles an hour.
All for the movies.
Yeah, and their advice for us was all the fillers, and there were like 15 of us that were racing around with him. And they said, "Well," we asked him, I said, "Well, what do you want me to tell our guys to do?" And he said, "Tell them just to try to miss it." And I was like, okay. So the guy hits the wall like that, right in front of me, and the car comes off the ground and comes down in front of me, and I was fortunate enough to miss it. When he hit the wall, I could feel the impact in my car. He hit so hard. When I came around, they had him laid out on the racetrack there. They didn't have a rescue squad or anything there. There was nobody there. And they were fanning him. I'm like, oh my goodness. But he was fine. After it was over, we're sitting at lunch. I said, "Tell me," I said, what did you get paid for that?" He said, "Well," said, "I'm a union worker." He said, "We get scale."
Scale.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, how much is scale? He said, "Oh, I got $187. I was like, "You did that for $187?" He said, "Oh, yeah, so to do it every day." I'm like,
I'll do it again.
I'm glad I do what I do, not what you do.
So there you get the story. You know, like, ladies and gentlemen, the good thing about interviewing Glenn Jarrett is that all you got to do is ask him one question, and then you could leave. I could leave for 20 minutes, come back, he's still talking the answer to the same question. So that's the story. We'll see you Tuesday in Louisville. And thanks, man.
Hey, enjoyed it.
Okay.
What's your name again?
It's John.
Ready?